Today is all about a positive attitude and sense of control. There are two priceless things that we need in our life, but they are not real easily attainable. Both of these things you have to work at, right? And both of these things seed and feed from inside of you. I can't hand it to you. I would give you anything I've got to make your life better. But I can't hand you a positive attitude, and I can't hand you a sense of control, can I? All right, what's so positive about Parkinson's disease? Give me 3 things positive about Parkinson's disease now that you've had your M&M cookies. Yeah. You meet great people. All right. The one thing about any time that you're living with a disease or a disability, the best people in your life will surface. Have you noticed that? The people that love you the most, the people that understand you the most, the people that don't want to live without you, are people that stand up and stay with you from beginning to end. So it does give you the opportunity to realize who really loves me. You know, lip service is really lip service. Have you noticed that in life? You know, you can tell me you love me 35 times a day. You got to show me, because I'm not buying it. That's one thing I'm not buying. All right? So you get the opportunity, particularly here. This is a positive place, positive Parkinson place. I mandate smiles. I mandate laughter. I mandate that you're up and motivated, because we all kind of thrive off each other. What else is positive about Parkinson's disease?
It's not fourth-stage metastatic cancer.
Yeah, there we go. Well, thank you. On a positive note. Wow. Good job. Well said. You know, it's important that we do really pay attention. We all think that, you know, what we have is the heaviest burden and the greatest challenge. But if you really look around the world that you live in, there are people that are struggling so, you know, and you have the hope of a future, because this disease is not going to kill you. Old age is going to kill you. You got that? So you're not facing what I call a life-challenging disease where I can't get you better and the docs can't get you better. So keep everything in perspective. What you've got is huge. I never ever minimize the challenges of this disease. I mean, Parkinson's disease is by far the greatest challenge, because it affects every part of you, mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, and you live with it for a very long time. Is that a challenge? Yes. But it's a challenge that you can manage, because everything that you need to meet and greet and live well with this disease is inside of you. Do you believe that? It's inside of you. Your key is you got to take ownership in it. You got to take ownership in your life. You got to love yourself, and you got to find a way every day to be your best with this disease. What else is positive about this disease? It teaches you patience. If this disease does not teach you patience, nothing will. Nothing will. All right? Slow and easy does it. You're slowed down. There's nothing wrong with being slow, as long as you get there. Remember the tortoise and the hare? I remember that, reading that when I was a kid. You know, the jackrabbit is so fast, and what did he lay under a tree for 3 days, and the turtle caught up and waited for him at the end of the finish line. All right, patience. Patience is a virtue. Right? I think too that any time in life that you live with a challenge, it teaches you wisdom. It really teaches you who you are. How many of you have had the opportunity to really go inside and say, you know, who really am I? Whether you're my Parkinson patient or whether you're my caregiver, you know, who are you?
Teaches you what's really important in life.
Don't you really? And that's my favorite thing. I always say it really teaches you what is important in life, because I've learned is the one thing that really happens first when you're told that you have a disease, or that you're told that your life is threatened, or you're facing a huge physical or health challenges, the first thing that happens to you, believe it or not, is that your priorities become crystal clear. Am I right? How many of you want to disagree with me? Please do not. You know how I act when you disagree with me. What are your priorities? And so many times in life, you know, we just put one foot in front of the other day in, day out. A lot of people in my life are doing what I call drifting. You know anybody that drifts? They have no rhyme, they have no reason, they have no mission, they have no purpose. All right, they're not living on a conscious level. It takes more than a pulse to be alive. Right? Right. And there's people walking around with a pulse, and they're dead and don't know it in their heart and in their mind and in their spirit. But you can live with this disease with the greatest amount of joy for life and hope and lust for life and positivity, you know, that most of my Parkinson patients make me prouder than my friends and colleagues, and I have hundreds of them in the city that are living without the challenges of this disease. So you need to stand proud and realize, what are your priorities? Have you thought about it? What is top for you? What is your number one priority? This ought to be good. Okay, you're glazing at me. Wake up and think.
My trains.
His trains. Where's that leave you? She just shoots him a look. I mean, she's just, they are so funny. His trains. Okay, good, your trains. And but that brought you around. I remember he taught me months ago that he was kind of losing his passion, right? And his lust for life, we'll put it that way, in a very gracious way. And he told me about his trains, and then I said, bring the trains. And the trains, bringing them back and sharing them with us and having fun with them really gave you fun in life, right? And a hobby and a joy. How many of you have something in your life that's a hobby, that's a joy that you love to do? Yeah, good. Good, his trains. Okay, so you have to just get on the back of the line then. Get on the caboose, honey, okay? What else? What's your number one priority? Now, what were you going to say? No, just raise your hand?
No.
Okay. Know me? I know me.
Playing cards with my granddaughter every Monday has become a nice thing to do. And Friday we go to their house for dinner, or the other daughter and children for dinner. We just have a lot of fun out of that.
Yeah, making time for your family first, for your friends first. All of the minutiae that we cram into a day, how meaningful is it? How much does it really, truthfully matter? It doesn't. But playing cards with your grandchildren, or having dinner with your family, or having a tradition is extraordinary, because you never give those times back. And I really feel at any age, you know, being a mother and a grandmother, that if you don't, it's what you leave in the hearts and the minds of others. That's the only thing that matters about your life, because someday you're not going to be here, right? But the beautiful memories, the thoughts that you impose on other people that they carry. I always make the comment, the things that really matter in life are carried in your heart. Isn't that true? Doesn't that make it easy to lighten up? It's not the material things, it's what you carry in your heart about what you have shared with other people, how they have made you feel. And I think the number one thing that we can all do is make that other person feel like the most important person in the world. Isn't that a nice thing? When somebody comes into your life and really makes you feel like the greatest, most important, most loved person in the world. And that's what we need to be doing, one for the other. Patients and caregivers and friends and family members. It's great. So I know where to catch you on a Monday and on a Friday. Okay. Yeah.
I have a lot of priorities, but the number one priority is...
He's pointing to Kathy. You didn't know that, okay?
She's my first priority because she's always there.
Right. And that's a wonderful thing. Those of you, and I always pay tribute to the beautiful patient-caregiver relationship. It's the most beautiful relationship out there, and it far surpasses your marriage or your friendship or anything else, because the role of the caregiver is very difficult. It's a very difficult one, and it needs to be very dignified, very respectful, very loving, and the dynamics of caregiving is huge. And your ability to, my definition for a caregiver is what? Who knows Marilyn's definition of a caregiver? Caregiving is nothing more than a selfless act of love. If I say to you, what are you doing and why are you doing it? What's your answer? One word. Love. Well, let me out. Your love makes the world go round. You can't make it happen and you can't make it stop. Have you figured that out? I demand that you love me. Okay? Stop loving me. All right? That happened. It just happens. And caregivers that step forward, and put you first, to walk with you hand in hand, step by step from beginning to end, that's a huge, huge gift. But it's a partnership. You know that. It's a partnership. It's a give and take. You're holding hands, you're walking down together. Okay? All right, so why is a positive attitude so critical? How many of you can say to me, Marilyn, I have a positive attitude? Now, this is not 24/7 that, you never falter, you never stumble, you never have a bad day. I'm not talking about that. I mean, you're human beings, you're not a machine. You are driven by the emotions, the real feelings that make you human. I think in my head it's human emotions, and the ability to accessorize distinguishes you from the monkeys and the apes, right? The way that you feel, the way that you respond to what's going on in your life, and your feelings are right. How do you feel? What are the feelings that you feel every day? Because it really doesn't matter how you are. It matters how you feel. And you can control how you feel. The frustration with Parkinson's disease is you can't control, the progression of the disease. You can't control when you're going to go off. You can't control how you're going to respond if not responds to changing your medications, right? You can't control Parkinson's disease, but you can control how you feel. And if you maintain that positive attitude and sense of control, then you rule. So what are you feeling? Thank you. Happy.
Wonderful.
What, my goodness, are you getting it a little louder so I can get this on video? Okay, I'm happy, I'm positive,
Grateful.
I'm grateful. What makes you grateful?
Well, when Bob first got that, our little town is small, and we didn't know anybody else that had Parkinson's. And I'm thinking, well, he's kind of alone, I'm kind of alone, and then we come down here and we find this wonderful place.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm grateful for it too, I really am. It's
So grateful.
thank you. Yeah. You need to be grateful for your life. You need to be grateful for your talents. You need to be grateful for your mind and for your resources and the opportunities you have to live this day and live it well. All right? Be grateful for your life. How many of you wake up on a positive note? Okay, you gotta control your thinking. You have to set your disposition when you wake up in the morning, because when you wake up in the morning, your control is, I can't control what's going to happen today. I just cannot. But I can control, do I want to be positive or negative? Do I want to be happy or sad? Do I want to be empowered or go belly up in the recliner? All right? So when you wake up in the morning, you set your disposition. I choose to be positive. I choose to have a positive contribution to others. I choose to be nice. I choose to be respectful, right? I choose to be a human being that will make me proud, as opposed to the other extreme. And this sometimes isn't easy, because a lot of times it's a lot easier to be negative and nasty, right? You can do it without even thinking. But you have to harness yourself. You have to set a plan in place to be nice, and to bite your tongue and to continue to motivate and to promote and to make a positive contribution into the life of your husband or your wife. You know, you have a relationship, your patient caregiver, to make a positive contribution in somebody else's life, right? I mean, you're not doing what you're doing to make it worse, I hope. All right? But you can't give away what you haven't got. And don't forget, my patients and my caregivers, you are equal partners. You might not be able to do as much physically or functionally or mentally, but you're running 50-50 at this. Are you clear with me? All right, you are equal partners. My caregivers are not wait staff. They're not concierge service. So my patients, you are equally responsible to make a positive contribution into the life of the person that is loving on you 25 hours a day, right? And how do you do that? How do you do it? Because for the role of the caregivers, it can be very negative. You know, they sit with me an hour a week, and the looks on their face, you know, it could be better. Well, you know, it's true. You know, not everybody is blessed with a 24/7, you know, caregiver. And I think, as all members of Parkinson Place, I mean, you're friends first, and you all contribute. I mean, I watch you. I like to come through here and see you all communicating and talking to each other. So it's very important when you do come here to motivate and to promote and to encourage, you know, whoever's having coffee and donut next to you. Am I right? Bring to me concerns. A lot of you will bring to me concerns, you know, when you notice that somebody does need help or attention. Always bring that to me, all right? So when you're here, you know, you gotta give yourself away. You gotta give yourself away, no matter what level you are with this disease, no matter what your personal situation is, you need to give yourself away. Okay. So how do you stay positive? How do you stay positive? You set your disposition, all right, and you say, okay, I'm going to be happy. It's my choice. I choose to be happy. I choose to be nice. All right? I choose to set my priorities. I choose to make my priorities right. All right? I choose to be a person that I can be proud of. How many of you are doing that? Okay?
Right.
Okay. What about the sense of control? The sense of control is difficult because human beings at any age, we like to have a sense of control. What are you in control of? What in life are you in control of? That's it. I got to tell you that. That's it. You're not going to control anything that's going on around you. Not the traffic, not the weather, not even how other people treat you. Not even what happens between sunrise and sunset. You're controlling nothing. The only thing that you can control is how you respond to what is happening to you. Like what? What are some things that makes you feel I am out of control? And I hear it all the time. I feel out of control, Mara. I've lost control of my life. I'm helpless and hopeless. That's not true. Because as long as you have a what, you're in control. You should know the answer to this. For those of you that have been members here for over a year, I've been saying this 100 times. So this is telling me if you do not know the answer to this, that you're sleeping with your eyes open. What do you need to have a sense of control? Your thought process. A choice. A choice. All right? A choice. As long as you have a choice, you will develop a sense of control. All right? I'm helpless and lonely and miserable and negative. You choose to be that way because you have the ability, you have the potential, the good Lord put it in you, to flip those feelings. No matter how thin you slice it, everything can be flipped over. You understand me? So you choose to take the positive note. You choose to be hopeful. How many of you are hopeful? Yeah, what's life without hope? What's hope?
For things,
You don't have to hope for big stuff.
for things unseen.
For things unseen. And they're usually good things, right?
That's right.
You don't say, I hope for a hurricane tomorrow, or I hope for anything negative. You hope for good things.
I try not to dwell on the past or the unpleasant things. I wipe those out of my mind and think of fun things and things to do and.
That's it. Bob said, you know, he never thinks about the past. This is a big problem with so many people, that, you know, you have something negative happen to you today, right? And it can be the way somebody treated you. It might be a personal failure. You wanted to do something, you weren't able to do it, okay? Might have been a confrontation with your loved one, might be a concern or whatever with your family, right? It's over when today is over. And I always say, you know, put your burdens down. Put your burdens down and only take the good stuff into tomorrow. I always say, only take the positive and the productive into tomorrow. It does you no good to carry minutia and negativity from yesterday. So let it go. Let it go. Even if there's an issue, a concern from yesterday, when you wake up today, it's a wash. Get rid of it. Neutralize it. Sometimes you have to have a discussion. You know, if there's an issue between you and your caregiver, you wake up today, you want today to be wonderful, then you sit down and say, okay, this happened yesterday, it happened, it just happened, it happened, it's over, we're going to start today and we're going to do great today. Not better today, not maybe better today, we're going to do great today. You're going to make it a great day. When I sign off on my emails, it's make it a great day, not hope you have a nice day. I'm way past hoping, because I believe in the empowerment of you make it happen. Your life is exactly what you choose to make it. Do you understand that? You have great people, you know, like your physician and your caregiver and people like me and the staff and everybody, your children that love on you, but you make your life what it is. You have total liability for it. So you can say to yourself, oh, I'm out of control, and flop out on the recliner with the clicker. Or you can say to yourself, I'm in charge, I am in control, this is my life, this is the only life I have. And I do understand that this might not have been the life that you chose. You ever thought about that? This is where the frustration, where the disease comes in. You patients, you didn't choose to have this disease at this stage of your life. It's very hard because you're seniors, many of you, right? And you have the automatic assumption, you know, that I'm going to hang out in the fishing dock and the golf course and the tennis court, and you might be denied that, or you have to work twice as hard to maintain that. And the same thing, you know, for the caregivers. None of you, I know, would volunteer, pick me, I want to be a caregiver, right? But you have the ability to make this day exactly what this day is. And if you want to see the future, create it today. I do it every day of my life. Every day of my life. I do today what I want tomorrow to be, and I do it deliberately. It's deliberate action. It's control of your mind. It's control of your mind. I am controlling my life. I love my life. I am worthy. Please realize your self-worth and your esteem. This disease tries very, very hard to lower one's sense of self. Doesn't it? How does it make you feel as a human being, some of you? And some of you just don't even think about it because you don't let it impose on you. But how does it make you feel about yourself?
Well, depression's always lurking.
Well, depression's always lurking. Depression is always lurking. It's very, very common in this disease. And it's part of the disease. It's one of the filtered out. It's not one of the 4 benchmarks. But probably 50%, if not 60%, if not more, if they chose to admit it, are depressed. You're depressed. It's part of the progress of the Parkinson disease. And then a lot of times you deal with an adult clinical depression because of the challenges that you face. Life is hard, right? If you're depressed, don't sit there silently and feel sad and feel blue. How many of you have sometime during the course of your life had a sense of depression? I know very few adults that, if truth be told, be honest with yourself. I mean, you don't have to answer me, but answer yourself. You know, adult clinical depression is just a low mood for more than 2 or 3 weeks. It's not I'm having a bad day today and tomorrow. If you have that, you know, go belly up on the recliner and suck your emotional thumb and feel sad and eat bonbons for 2 days tops, and then you get out of it. You get up, you get dressed, you get in here, you go somewhere, you get that life back. If you can't use, but this is it, and when I talk about clinical depression that's associated with Parkinson's, it lasts more than 2 or 3 weeks and you can't get yourself out of it. But there's antidepressants that are non-habit forming, non-harmful, and you just got to call to your doctor, talk to your nurse, and you know, somebody say, I'm really depressed, I've been down for 3 weeks, I can't get myself in gear here, I need some help. You understand that? So depression is okay, but you got to fix it. You got to fix it with the way you think, and you got to fix it by talking to your doctor. Do I need an antidepressant? The same thing with caregivers. Caregivers can go really down because of the amount of responsibilities that they bear, and the need to have an upfront view of the Parkinson's disease effect on the person that they love the most. To keep yourself positive like that, you got to move. You got to stay engaged in life. You know, if you stay home, I feel low, I feel blue, I feel depressed, and then you isolate in your home, it's the worst place to be. I will tell you, like if I spend like one day at home, like a Saturday, because I play catch up on Saturday or what, if I don't get out of the house to do something fun on Saturday, I feel my energy level coming down by Sunday. Isn't that crazy? I can only do one day by myself because you've got me so engaged and so up all the time that I don't know how to behave by myself anymore. But you've got to stay engaged in life. You've got to fight the depression. But if you need the medication, you go on and take it. But you have to reach out and say, I'm feeling sad. How do you know when you're depressed?
You don't feel like doing nothing.
You don't feel like doing anything, right?
Yeah.
And stress will trigger depression. You know that. That's why I work so hard with your stress management skills. It's very stressful living with Parkinson's. And it's very, very stressful caring for someone with Parkinson's. Am I right? So stress management is important. The more you move, the more you exercise, the more you try, the better you're going to do, because it's going to lift your body, mind, and spirit up here. And the more positive you are in your head, your body will follow the mind. You know that. This old body of yours with Parkinson's tries to have a mind of its own. And if you don't keep pushing it and moving it and driving it forward, it's going to quit on you a lot faster. So you're always playing, you know, staying stronger, smarter, and ahead of the disease, because the disease will continue to go. All right? It's difficult, you know, to get through your wake time without some highs and lows, and it's in like an emotional roller coaster, right? So what am I going to say to you? Roll with it.
You got one day only.
You got today, roll with it. And you know, for you to buck it and to fight it, I mean, I want you strong, I want you empowered, I want you to make good choices, I want you to stand up for yourself. But certain things with this disease, you just got to roll with it. You just got to roll with it, because anything other than that is an exercise in futility. So there's the middle of the road. If you can change it, if you can fix it, if you can change the way you think, or if you can change how you spend your day, or if you can choose, should I exercise or sit in the hammock, that's fine. But when you are realizing that you're off because of the meds, or you're having a day like that, just find something else to do and roll with it. Now, I'm not a believer in getting a canoe and take it wherever the tide wants to take you. I don't believe in that. You know, I paddle in the direction, right? You paddle where you want to go, particularly if you're heading for the rapids. Okay? What's your greatest challenge with staying positive? What's the challenges that can negate you? What are some of the challenges you have to get over? You know, and I'm a big believer in sidestep and step over. A lot of things will confront you, and I always say, pick your battles. Is it big enough to matter, small enough to win? So if you have a conflict or a problem or something that crosses your path or presents that tries to negate you or knock you down, doesn't really matter. And if it doesn't really matter, sidestep and step over. You hear it? Sidestep is, I do it all the time. If I confronted or conflicted everything from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed, I'd be a nutcase. All right? I figure this doesn't really matter. This will pass. Forget it. So what is your greatest challenge? How do you stay positive?
Believe it was right.
Yeah, believe that it's right. Believe in yourself. Believe in your life. How many of you are grateful for this day?
Amen.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much where it starts, is, you know, the act of grace and gratitude. You know, you woke up, you're here for a reason. You really matter. You're very special. You know, there's a plan for you. Don't ever lose heart for that.
We're grateful for you, Marilyn. You keep us on the right roads.
Oh, thank you. I love telling people what to do. I've been doing it for a long time. Nobody listens. But I just keep running my mouth.